Let's go. Welcome to the secret society of the Knights Templar.
A Knights Templar. Well, very good. I like that sort of stuff. Good fun.
Yeah, we are
delving into ancient history.
We have some ancient knowledge provided to us via the culture.
Ah, yes.
You've got the secret ingredients engraved into an emerald tomb. Actually, it's a polyethylene tomb. So if you need some vitamins that are going to pep you up after a big night, or you just want a bit of a kick in your step, you got the Tropical Punch from Vibe Culture. Basically, it's like a protein shake, but it's not protein. It's
like a pick-me-up.
Yeah.
It's like a bit of a coffee. It's got electrolytes.
Yeah.
It's good for a hangover.
It's like a healthy meth.
Amino acids. A healthy meth. Yeah.
Melthy.
Methy. But yeah, no, it's fucking awesome. So Vibe Culture, get around them, head to their website. It's in the show notes and on our Instagram bio. Also, this episode is brought to you by Kahuna Golf.
Yeah, I wish I had ancient knowledge to learn how to play fucking golf. I played 2 holes at 18 last week.
Yeah. Oh
my God. I'm so glad I'm sponsored by Kahuna Golf because I looked amazing.
You know what you have to do is
just hacking it.
It's just consistency. You have to just keep trying, bro.
My short game was fucking really good, man. But I couldn't tee off. I can't drive. And my irons off the tee were just horrific.
Oh, you probably look good though, Delby.
No, it looked great. Yeah. So I had my hat on. And my mates wanted the hats as well. So, going to hook them up.
Sick.
And if you want a hat, if you're a Patreon, just hit us up. We give you a freebie. We've got a couple to give away. But
good idea.
If you're not a Patreon, we're going to get you. Yeah, we'll join, which we'll tell you about shortly. But jump on Hard Yarn's Instagram. And if you click the link, you can go to Kahuna or just go Kahuna Golf. Follow them online.
Yeah.
And use the code HARDYARNS15.
I'm going to actually start playing a bit more. My shoulder's starting to feel good now. You know, remember when I was fucked?
Yeah.
And I was doing those exercises with my TheraBand that Jade gave me, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I've got to make a change.
Yeah.
Instead, I just took your advice or the opposite of your advice. You know, when you stop with your back stuff, I just was like, nah, persist. And the pain is gone and my shoulder is completely fixed.
Happy days. That's
so I am
ancient knowledge.
I am ready to play some golf and look good and feel good and play good.
Yeah. So Hard Yarns 15 will get you 15% off. It's also how far I was hitting off the tee. 15 meters if I was lucky. But most importantly, our major sponsor with the biggest neon sign behind me today.
alltradescover.com.au. They will cover you for all of your trades needs. If you're a small business, big business, tradies in general, they're going to cover you for your on-site kerfuffles.
Yeah. So if you're not sure what they cover,
maybe hit them up.
You can always inquire. As John is listening to this, hearing me squirm. No specific examples, but if you're looking for some insurance, they can help you out or point you in the right direction, which is back towards them because they're amazing and they've been there for us for a very long time.
Yeah, they're
so
great.
Shout out to alltradescover.com.au. If you're a new listener, and you've got your own business, hit them up. Compare your insurance. I'm sure they can do a better deal. Well, actually, I'm not sure they can do a better deal, but I think they will be able to help you to compare your deals.
Yeah, no, they're fucking awesome.
But,
John's a legend, and get around them.
It's me and Branchy today. So we always keep forgetting to plug the Patreon. Patreon is a big part of podcasts these days. People are like, how do you make money on podcasts? Well, we thank the people that we just thanked,
and
we thank you.
So I've got a goal now of 60 Patreons.
60. So we're about 30 short.
39.
Roughly 30 short.
I think we've got 39.
Well, it always fluctuates because people's, I don't know, something's happening. If you are a Patreon, just suss it out for us. Some people
because it doesn't automatically renew sometimes.
Yeah.
And then they have to go on and just double check. If you're a prior Patreon, go on and double check because
and if you hate ads, we've got ad free. The full episodes ad free. We're backdating.
Well, it's worth it just $5 a month to get ad free for the 6 or 7 or 8 episodes we do.
Yeah, and you get merch as well.
Yeah, you get a free T-shirt,
bonus episodes,
stickers,
so full bonus episodes. Like if we're doing stuff like playing golf, we can show you.
Yeah, yeah.
We upload like things that are going on behind the scenes that no one else gets to see.
Yeah.
But most importantly, it helps us pay rent at this studio and eventually, hopefully, pay Branchy's wage.
Well,
So-
yeah. But it's get on board because it's
And if you don't know what it is, people have always gone, what's Patreon? It's like OnlyFans, but for podcasts.
yeah.
So like
get extra.
Netflix,
Yeah.
but for this
It's like when you see that
specific
hot girl
podcast.
on Instagram, you're like, that's a hot picture. And she's like, well, if you want
Want
just
more?
a little bit of spicy
Yeah.
more, where we don't hold back what we say and
Yeah.
we put our finger in our boom.
Yeah.
Well, I don't do that. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get the dicks.
Yeah.
Out.
But
Yeah.
join. So this
Um,
episode, fuck.
We went really, really deep on the Knights Templar.
Yeah, so we did a good, probably hour on that, but we did a bit about half an hour preamble where we
Yeah.
talked footy.
Yeah, just footy, what's been happening. I think it was mainly like the footy.
And Alistair Clarkson.
Yeah.
Um,
That's pretty much it, I think. And then we got, and then some Hollywood
John-
Satanism,
yeah,
John
John
Cena.
Cena and a bit of...
But big conspiracy app. Well, not conspiracy, but more of like a history app today.
yeah.
So History Epstein, we'll call
So,
this.
yeah. So talking about the Knights Templar and the history and the ancient knowledge and wisdom that they possess and whether or not we believe it's a real story, whether or not it's just another segment of Christianity.
Yeah, so it's like levitation and fucking creating food from nothing.
Atlantis.
All that good stuff.
Oh, yeah. And
Jesus had a few kids.
we didn't
but
go conspiracy
Mary-
light this time. We went in deep and
Yeah.
we went through the whole story bit by bit, and Delby cross-examined me.
Yeah,
It's good.
cross-examined.
Do
Like Jesus.
you know that's the pagan, that's the thing as well?
Really?
That's their sign.
didn't
The
know
cross. You know that sort of... Anyway.
Well, it's like X-Pac.
I did. Anyway, fuck
All
yeah.
right.
Good fun episode.
And enjoy it.
Uruk.
Peace. Let's get hard.
Let's get hard.
Welcome to Hard Yarns Podcast.
I am fucking fat.
Anything Chris White says, please disregard it.
5D is actually a state of being. It's a unity consciousness.
That was Hard Yarns with me, Frankie Rose. So I'm going to throw it over to your co-host.
Daniel Delby.
And Cameron Branch.
I would do this and then I'd gong.
Free in attendance for the millions listening at home. Let's get hard.
Fucking hard, man.
What pay? Yeah, he runs a ridiculous
I
pace.
feel so bad running with him because I feel like I'm letting him down. We did 6.5K.
Yeah.
But it was after big Sunday.
Yeah.
So I was like
Already struggling.
Yeah. And I spent all day in bed Monday. So I was like, he goes, do you want to go for a run? I said, yeah, I need to. But like I felt like I was going way faster and I was doing 5 minute 30.
Oh, fuck.
It's fucked, bro.
Yeah. I think
So-
I think we fucked him up with the long run because of the pace.
Yeah.
He was fucked by the end. He couldn't finish it.
Because he just
He got there, but he could barely.
he just used that as a warm up and he went for another run after.
Yeah.
So
Okay. How far did you run?
6.5.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's funny. Every time I have a big weekend, if I drink it a lot, I can always run further, easier. Like it's almost like the sugar or whatever. It sustains my run for way longer.
Yeah.
Without feeling sapped, which is strange.
I struggled in Thailand. Like I went for one jog,
Yeah,
5Ks.
yeah,
It is humid, but it was early in the morning.
yeah. Well, running in Bali's the same. It's fucking way harder.
Yeah.
So
Fuck, man.
you
Yeah.
got to dodge all the bargains. Fuck.
Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah.
Um,
But anyway, speaking
yeah.
of running, opening round, not a fan. AFL.
nah,
Nah.
I don't like it.
You know why they did it though, right?
Yeah. It
Because-
worked. It sold
Well,
out. Every game sold out. Hey?
Yeah, but it's because it was the first game. It's silly.
Yeah. I was going to say, would every game sell out anyway?
Because there was only 4 to choose from,
Yeah.
right? Like they said that it was because the NRL
Yeah.
were going to America,
Yeah.
but they're back. They were playing games here.
The same week.
Yeah. So the NRL was happening. I think maybe the Sydney teams or the Queensland teams were gone. But
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I need a fact check, but the idea
yeah.
was there'd be a way and we would go in and take their crowds. But from all reports, I'm pretty sure that the NRL,
Did they play on the weekend?
yeah,
Really?
yeah.
In Queensland and Sydney?
NRL games matches week 2. So week 1, there was one in Vegas.
Yeah. But that's in Vegas.
Yeah, Sea Eagles and Rabbitohs. But then, there was still games on. So
Oh, really?
yeah. So who knows?
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, I get it. Look, I understand that. Yeah, I didn't like it. I hated it.
Yeah,
I'm going to say I hated it.
Yeah, it's
no,
done
I hated
because
it.
now in round 3 there's a bye,
I know.
and it's stupid.
Especially early on in the season is the only time I really like watching football.
Yeah.
When you're excited about all the teams and trying to figure out what they're doing, and then eventually you get to the point where you get 15th versus 3rd, and you're like,
Yeah,
not watching.
well, I lost a lot of money. So it was very frustrating.
With
Very frustrating. Possession bets.
yeah, see,
And
it confused me with the footy tipping as well.
Yeah.
So it wasn't till that first game, Sydney-Melbourne, when I was like, oh, this is an actual game.
Yeah, yeah.
And I hadn't put in my tips.
Yeah.
So I didn't get that game.
Yeah. Fuck.
I would have ticked Sydney as well.
Yeah,
So
I changed my tip from Sydney to Melbourne. Dumb cunt. So
well, that's good. But and then the next night I picked Brisbane, and I was watching it.
Right.
And they were up by
46.
40. Yeah, and I was like, oh well,
That's unbelievable.
I'm gonna go down, watch a sunset.
That's Carlton's best win in the last 10 years.
Incredible.
Even better than finals.
And I'm spewing. I didn't
Because
watch.
it's at the Gabba. They've won 26 in a row there. Fuck. There was an article that came up. Calamarchi has won 26 or 23 games in a row at the Gabba.
Oh my
He's
God.
got the longest win streak, and then Carlton come back. I just wish I was watching it live because I would have definitely had a punt. I was at a wedding.
Well, I watched the first quarter and a half or something. And strangely enough, there's no real Aussie bars and stuff in Krabi. Like everywhere else in Thailand, like Aussie bars everywhere. So just full of footy and rugby and sports, but there's none.
Yeah.
I found one sports bar. Watched the first hour.
Yeah.
And then, they're up by 45. And I was like, I'm going to go down the
done.
beach and chill. Fuck this.
Yeah.
And then, later on that night, scrolling through my phone, 1 point victory. I'm like, fuck, I've just missed out.
I watched the last 5 minutes at the wedding I was at.
Yeah.
And then the next day I had the wedding and I missed all the footy. I really wanted to watch GWS Collingwood. I tipped GWS.
Yeah.
And the fucking only thing that let me down was Jordan DeGoey, man. I had him to get over 24 touches.
And what did he get?
He got 21.
Yeah, okay.
So he was the last leg and everything. Everyone else, I smoked it. It would have been $1,500.
Fuck.
So, what can you do? Classic.
What's the go with Alistair Clarkson? Because everyone was up in arms about that. So
in the opening, in the pre-game, in the scratch match,
Yep.
Jimmy Webster ran through Jai Simpkin.
which was pretty fucked.
Yeah, it was fucking horrific.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So
And then
he should. I reckon he should have got like 8 or 9.
what did he get?
7.
Fuck.
So
I mean,
it's definitely like 7 or more for sure. For what he did was like
left the ground, hit him in the head.
it was after he kicked it as well,
And
it was flush. It was like the perfect.
Yeah.
It was the perfect 80s bump.
So I didn't see any of it except for I seen
So-
the bump and then I seen Alistair Clarkson going off at him.
Yeah,
Which,
he
you
went
know what?
over.
And so before you tell me what he said, my initial reaction is like, that's
Good.
just a coach fucking defending his player. Like
100%.
getting fucking, okay. So
Get up him.
Yeah, 100%. Fuck
Yeah.
yeah. Nothing. Why is
So he
everyone
went
up in arms
over,
about that?
And he's like, "You fucking cocksucker!" And now that is a homophobic slur. So they've come out and said he's using homophobic slurs, which is fucking ridiculous, man. A cocksucker is not. That's a compliment, cunt. If you're a cocksucker, good on you, man. Like, you're putting a cock in your mouth.
You've set me up here because I thought you were going to say it was something bad.
Nah. They've said it is bad. So they've come out and said Alistair Clarkson used a homophobic slur.
Oh, my God.
Because he called him a cocksucker. Now,
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, 100%.
Women suck cocks.
Yeah. It's great. But because you're saying it to a man, and now Danielle Laidley has come out and said, like, words hurt and shit. Fuck off, cunt, man. Like, you're playing AFL. This is my take on it.
Yeah.
You're playing a game which requires testosterone.
Yeah.
Like being strong, being tough.
Yeah.
Being an alpha.
Yeah.
Bringing that fucking masculinity to the game.
Intensity.
Right? So if you call someone a cocksucker in the form of that game, sure, it doesn't mean that you're fucking gay and you want to suck them off. It just means you're a fucking weak cunt.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't done.
Well, it's
like,
the same way, like, well, we've said it on the pod before. Fag isn't considered like that word anymore.
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah, it doesn't have the connotation of a negative slur, man.
Yeah.
So for them to take that out of context is ridiculous. Being called a cocksucker on the footy field, sure, it's implying that you suck guys' cocks, but you're playing a game with
there's no way
majority
he said
straight men.
But that's no way
There's
he
only
said
a
it
few
like, you
games.
suck cocks.
Yeah.
There's no way he's saying it, because cocksucker, especially, I know it's a bit of an older generation.
Yeah.
He's an older fucking man.
Yeah.
And it's an old, like, I guess it's like you fucking cocksucker.
No, if you had to come out and called him the F word, right?
Yeah.
If you had to call him a faggot,
Yeah.
then that's definitely a slur
Yeah.
as opposed to a cocksucker.
Yeah. Cocksucker's literally like,
A faggot and a cocksucker are two different things,
yeah.
right?
I guess, yeah.
A faggot is you're saying your sexuality is like not acceptable, but a cocksucker is just going, oh, you fucking cocksucker, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cocksucker is just it's just a word.
What
It's
if
not
you
like,
had
it doesn't
said
mean,
to a chick, oh, you fucking pussy eater?
yeah. Why didn't they go, what did you mean? Like, why isn't it, I know you don't mean that.
Yeah.
That
It's stupid. So he's come out and had to apologise.
fucking Danielle Laidley, fucking words hurt. Fucking you used to hurt cunts with your fists, mate. that hurts.
And stalk,
yeah, and stuff.
you know.
Oh,
Fucking-
fuck, man.
Get a grip.
Man, I'm disappointed. I thought you were going to say like it was really bad and
No.
there's an actual reason.
No. So I mean, look, we could be insensitive. We could be guys that maybe it is bad these days. But I don't think in the term
Don't gay guys love sucking cocks? Is it? I guess is it because they're using it as an insult?
you're using it as an insult. But for me, I think it doesn't have any sort of gravity behind it
Yeah.
that
No.
the other slur would have.
Yes.
Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
So I think, like, be an adult, get over it,
What
cunt.
about calling someone a cockhead?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like,
So,
you fucking cockhead.
and like, the cunt's just fucking knocked someone out and fucking
And he's
done
angry
an
and he's
absolutely dirty act.
And when you're so angry, you don't word everything perfectly. You don't
Yeah.
choose your words
Yeah,
nicely.
but I definitely don't think he would have called him
I
like
get-
a fag.
No. And I
Right?
guess the issue is, should a head coach be going off like that?
I think you should, definitely. I think if you've seen your co-captain get fucking knocked into next week with a dirty act,
I was about to
go
say,
into bat for him.
I don't know what it's like. So from a professional standpoint, potentially there should be a bit of professionalism about it. I get it. It's representing a whole brand, a whole organisation. I get it. But also from a player, watching my coach go in to defend my teammate and fucking be so angry and supportive of my teammate, I'd be like, I'll fucking go to war for that cunt.
Yeah.
So I understand from both perspectives. From an organisation, he's never going to change. He's a fucking passionate sort of man.
He does have an anger problem.
Yeah,
He punches holes in walls and
it's
apparently he's racist, so maybe it's up his fucking alley.
Yeah, but anyway, he's I think that's an overreaction.
Yeah. What a bunch of cocksuckers. It's fucked, man.
Oh fuck.
I don't think I think it's in the vernacular now. It doesn't mean it doesn't carry the context of you get on your knees and you suck off guys.
No.
It's like, oh, you're a dickhead.
Yep.
You know?
Agreed. Move on, world. That's fucking Making an issue of it makes an issue of it.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
So opening round's kind of fucked because it fucks Dream Team as well. So for anyone that plays Dream Team, it's been a clusterfuck because like you've got your team and now everyone's got a sneak preview at 8 teams of players.
Yeah,
So
okay.
all the guys you thought would be like a good pick, they've come out and smoked it, and now everyone's going to pick them.
Okay.
So it's frustrating. And Selby Lee Steele was going to jump on last week, but he said that he had too many commitments. So hopefully be good to get him on. He won 2 years in a row, but he's doing a lot of work for charity and he's got his own like super coach and AFL coaching, and now he's got his own league, which
That's
is pretty
crazy.
fucking cool way.
So he was just that good at picking players.
Yeah, I want to pick his brain at that, man, because like that's to be the best in Australia 2 years in a row is insane, man.
Is that like the West Australian or whatever that fucking thing? Or is it AFL? Who runs it?
The AFL, yeah,
AFL.
yeah, Australia wide. So it's like maths, but it's footy knowledge.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, man, it's almost impossible because you just injuries, you don't know.
There's got to be a
so
bit
it's
of luck as well, hey?
always
not
a
2
little
years
bit
in
of
a
luck,
row.
but for 2 years in a row,
A little bit of luck mixed with good knowledge.
Yeah. But you get mathematicians that absolutely smoke it with Moneyball strategies.
Yeah, okay.
There's actually an app called Moneyball.
Yeah.
I think it's called Moneyball, where you can bet on AFL Dream Team and baseball Dream Team, basketball Dream Team.
Yeah.
But the guys that are winning all the money are like mathematicians.
NBA, I would never.
Yeah, because it's all rigged.
I've stopped.
Yeah.
Well, no, they're just like even the games. I've gone to see 3 or 4 NBA games in person, and it was just a normal game, fucking awesome. And then they just bench their best player for the second half.
Yeah.
Because they play 80 games for the year, so sometimes they just have to go.
Yeah.
He's
and
not
like
playing.
some of it is point shaving, man. Like a lot of it is there has to be something up. Like I saw a clip of somebody that had this player to get over 4.5 points. He's driving in for a layup. No one's in front of him.
Yeah.
He goes to lay it up and then throws it out to the 3-point line for the guy to shoot and miss. And he was on 4 points.
Yeah.
So it's like he could have dunked it. There's no pressure.
Yeah.
It just looks so suspect. It might have been a coincidence, but
going for the 3 if they're open is always the...
no, but he's like open basket. They're up by 5 points. There's no need. Yeah, it was that sort of shit sus. There was a good guy. There was a good guest on Rogan. I saw a few of their clips.
You see that Rogan guest?
The gambler.
You see the Rogan guest is in jail? No.
Yeah.
For homicide?
Yeah.
He's only on
He
there
had a
like last
head
month.
in the freezer.
But
That's insane.
He was on there as a...
Advocate.
He wasn't the guest.
Wasn't he?
No, he was a guest of the guest.
Oh, was he?
Like someone...
Because he was an advocate for criminals. He was trying to help people turn their life around.
Yeah, so the other guy...
The Queen's
he was
something.
the guy who was the advocate, like trying to help people.
Right.
And he was the criminal. So the guy who's in jail now for the homicide was the criminal.
So he was trying to help him. I thought he was... Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So he was like, he's...
Oh, well, he couldn't do his job very well.
Yeah, so he was...
He
was a reformed crip or something like that.
Yeah,
25
right.
years in prison he spent. So
Yeah,
he'd already been
okay.
in prison for 25 years or something like that, 26 years.
That bloke's going in for 25.
That's the same guy I'm talking. The
He was a
guy...
reformed crip and now he is back in jail.
He's the one who... Yeah, he was like the one who was already in jail for 26 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Came out, went on Rogan. He's now back in jail for the murder.
But I thought you said
No. The black... There was a white guy and a black guy.
Right.
The black guy was the criminal. He was a guest of the guest.
oh, okay.
And he came on as just like, this is an example of someone who's come out of the system.
Out of all of the people he could have chosen,
And he's the one who's...
well, he was head and shoulders above the rest. Or his head, shoulders actually in the freezer, and then legs and toes were in the duffel bag.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
That would be like...
he turned the
for
guy
us getting an expert on like Dr. Stephen Bright and bringing on someone who's like, this
A
is a
reformed
reformed
drug
drug addict,
Yeah.
and then them being all over the front page news,
Yeah.
being
Like-
going on a drug
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, spree.
So just a politician. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucking hectic though. That guy, he turned him into like Mr. Potato Head. His head, everything, torso, legs chopped up, and he changed clothes like 6 times and was like,
Do you know what,
had a cooler, an esky.
do you know what I hated hearing about that story? Is someone as a witness, audio witness, only heard it.
Yeah, saying I have a family. Yeah. Well, don't do shit that's going to get you murdered.
That's true.
You know?
What do you get murdered for?
Good question. You know?
That's a good. That's a. What did he do?
America's
So maybe.
Well, imagine if he did something hell heinous.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that sort of stuff, like retribution and
Nah, not for it.
Really?
I'm for the.
someone
Have you
does
seen
something
that
to your family or your daughter? You're just like, oh, well, good.
Not all good, but have you seen the clip of the parents that forgive the son that the kid that murdered their son?
Yeah, but I'm not talking about that like dumb gang shit or like as a teenager. I'm talking about like rape, torture, murder, like in that order. I am very forgiving, but I think that if that was some immediate,
It's
member
very
of my
easy
family,
for me to say I'd be forgiving and the understanding of what's created this person.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'll.
Yeah, it's fucked. You don't know until
That's why watching those parents, man, I cry when I watch that clip. Have you seen that? The 2 Muslim parents?
Yeah.
When they like forgive the gang
Yeah.
kid for going and murdering their son.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I've seen that.
Fuck, man.
Hectic.
That's what I'd like to think I'd be like.
Yeah.
But
You need a very strong faith or a very strong belief in this person is
Yeah, if someone did that to Scotty,
Yeah.
I'd like, fuck, man.
How's the like? I think it was either the
Dark
mum or the
place.
dad, where the news crew was following the person, and he was waiting at the. I think it was the airport on the phone, and then as he walked past, he just goes bang, shoots cunt in the head, and then goes puts his hands out, like
Which is,
the killer of his like
yeah.
son or whatever he did to his son or daughter.
Yeah.
He knew that they were going to be transporting him, so that the film crew's like, here's the killer of the thing, and then he takes his hook. He goes,
I think I've seen that.
boom. That's like poetic justice, because he just goes bang, and he's like, here, like straight away, like immediately just go. He knew, like that's pretty G.
Then you have the only thing then is, and I'm not unjustifying it, is that guy's got parents, and so you've just done the same thing to them, and you've punished them.
That's a fair point.
You've punished them.
Yeah, but maybe they've disowned him after what he did.
Potentially, but still, like that's your son.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
It's hard. It's just the whole like, I say I'd like to be those parents. Fuck, man.
It'd be interesting. You know what would be sick would be to interview Jesus, man. It'd be just like, what do you reckon, man? You know, this happens because no one ever asked Jesus, hey, bro, like someone murders, Joseph and Mary. What are you doing, man? Are you going to turn the other cheek? Or are you going to turn the gun sideways? Plop, plop, plop.
Yeah. What do you think Jesus would say to something like that? Like, okay, you go up to Jesus and...
If he truly is the Son of God,
he would
be like, hey, don't worry. I know what's coming for that bloke.
Yeah.
It's worse than anything that I can do. You know? That would be...
eternal karma.
Yeah.
Eternal
hell. But I don't think hell's real.
I think, and we'll get into this later as well.
Because of the Hollywood Satanists.
I don't think... I'm not certain Jesus was...
Jesus?
No, I think there's some interesting things about Jesus. I think like we've talked about it in the past, it being like the whole story's been hijacked by Christianity and
he's not white.
Yeah, for example.
Yeah.
But I'm not certain he'd
turn the other cheek.
I just think he was I'm not sure he was.
He's probably an OG hard.
He could have been. He could have been divine. I don't know. That's one thing we should definitely. So today I'm going to go into the Knights Templar. That's
just religion, because the Muslims don't believe Jesus is the Son of God. They just thought he was a prophet. Right?
Yeah.
And Muhammad is
their
prophet, but no one is the same as God, right?
Yeah.
So
well, we're going to go into the Knights Templar later on.
Yeah. Well,
and we do touch on that, but I think we could do a whole episode deep diving into the origins of Jesus.
Maybe he had like a mad publicist.
Let's do a role play.
It's like Knight's
You be
Tale.
Jesus, I'll ask you, and then we'll swap.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, so
sorry, that's myself.
Okay, Jesus.
I'm not very well trained at this.
Okay, Jesus.
Is this blasphemy?
Potentially. Mary's just been killed by that guy over there.
Is Mary my mum or Mary Magdalene who I was banging?
Oh, Mary. Mary.
Is she one of my flock?
Your mum.
She's one of my...
Your mum.
I'm my mum.
My mum.
Yeah.
Yeah, your mum. What are you going to do to that guy?
Oh, look, man, it wasn't really my mum. You know, my dad impregnated her without letting her know. Like, that's pretty... I mean, my dad was a bit of a sneaky fella.
Well, you're too afraid to do an accent, Delby?
No, I'm just saying. My dad was pretty sneaky in the first place. He just popped me in her without her permission. Mary was the first #me too. so God's just up in her. But look, I haven't seen her for a long time.
Fuck.
Didn't I go walkabout for 20 years?
Yeah, about 40 years in the desert, man. You must have a dry nose.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. I think, look, I know that God is real, so I know what's going to happen to the person that killed him. So I forgive them, because where they're going, there will be no forgiveness.
Okay.
Yeah.
I buy that. I think that's a good one.
Yeah.
I think you've done well there.
Because Lucifer's going to be making his bum a little bit Lucy.
Spicy.
Yeah. So,
classic.
But
What else?
Well, Lucifer, speaking of Satan and Satanists, you have a theory on John Cena.
Oh, yeah. Well, not a theory. It's just pretty common. Everyone's talking about it like that. His him naked at the Oscars.
Yeah.
That was said to
Was
be.
he at the Oscars? I couldn't see him.
I don't know. It was just a blank TV for
Weird. Just with a little sign.
just a microphone.
Yeah.
But interesting was people have started to see this as a humiliation ritual that seems to happen commonly in Hollywood, and then after that they shoot to obscene levels of fame and stardom.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's just a prank. I think what was the context though? Why did he come out naked?
Costume. He was doing the awards for best costume. So
I think his humiliation ritual was when he had to learn Mandarin and apologize.
yeah.
Like,
Now look, I know I believe there is humiliation rituals. I believe it's all part of that stuff.
well, you know why? Because you've done it for Up and Joke.
Yeah. I think that there isn't a humiliation ritual. I think people just overlooking some things sometimes, and I think he's just like trying to be funny.
Oh, yeah, I think
It's
there
a
are
it's a
humiliation rituals,
Yeah.
but there was John Cena one.
Yeah.
I think he's just funny, bro.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that was just really funny.
Yeah, he's got a good sense of humor.
I don't think that was because it was a joke about costumes and how important they are.
Yeah, right.
And he was like,
Yeah, that's probably, and he's already big, man. He's already huge. So
yeah. So I'll be interested though. I'm interested to see because if he goes to the next level, like he's huge, he's big.
yeah, well, he was just in Ricky Stenicki.
Yeah.
Ricky Stenicki.
Yeah, he's starting to break into the
But
cinemas.
even the movie he was in where he was the strict dad, I can't remember which one it was.
cock blockers.
Cock blockers? Is that what it was called? Yeah.
it's
That's
so
fucking
it's
hilarious,
good, man.
bro. Yeah, and he
When
had
he's-
something in his
the
ass.
beer chug.
Like, yeah, that was fucking brilliant. He was so funny in that.
Yeah,
man.
cock blockers is good.
I need to watch that again.
What's her name? The girl. She's in fucking everything.
I don't know. Like Kristen Wiig or something?
Nah, she's the wife of the director of all of them. You know, the director who directs all of them.
Judd Apatow.
Judd Apatow, yeah.
What is her name? It was just on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, it's
Starts
always-
with a K or Catherine or like a Judd Apatow's wife. Yeah.
She's fucking awesome, man. She's hilarious. And back in the day when she was younger,
Leslie Mann.
fucking hot as shit as well. Actually,
she's hot?
I think she's hot. Yeah, I think she's hot.
She's
as
a good
shit.
actress,
Yeah,
I think.
she's a good actress.
She makes a good, like...
That reminds me of that Sean William Scott.
He
scene.
disappeared. Maybe he wasn't into Satanism.
Maybe.
A little bit of thunder.
That's one of my
A little
favorite
bit of
movie
lightning.
role models.
Role models is funny as.
Fucking so funny when they're singing that song at the end, like Kirstie Alley. I can't remember the reference, like Kirstie Alley and whoever it is, and then he's like, "They're good actors."
I don't know that.
It's just a throwaway.
Yeah. There's heaps of funny
Like
bits in
Susan
that.
Sarandon,
Yeah, right.
like Tim Robbins and Susan
Sarandon.
Sarandon. Those are good actors.
Yeah, I know that. But no, yeah. There's heaps of good stuff in that, man. It's so funny.
Mate, that's one. That's
The medieval
that's
role
my,
play is so
That's my
funny.
favorite. I think that's probably or it's up there in my top 5 comedy movies.
Because Fogel, well, what's his name? McLovin or Fogel, whatever his real name is, the actor. He's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
So,
so good.
yeah.
There's precious little time. Oh, what the hell? The fake kiss.
Yeah. I just love how they're talking in the old accents and shit, and then the king. Anyway, so talking about kings and knights.
Why
yeah.
dotheth he not show his own face?
Yeah.
He hath too much pride. Tell your kingsman, we shall see him on the field.
Yeah, we shall see him on the battlefield. Yeah.
We shall see him on the battlefield today. Fuck, I love that actor. What's his name? Chang from
Yeah. He plays the same guy in every movie.
yeah.
though.
What Chang from?
Hangover?
No. Chang is his
Community.
name. Community.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's a good show.
Community's great.
Yeah, cool. I do have a theme or a topic for today.
Okay.
I love this. So, Knights Templar. You don't know too much about it, hey, Delby?
Very minimal. Almost nothing.
So I've written this down, so I'm gonna do this correctly. We're gonna go through the whole history of the Knights Templar, and I've got a lot of information here. So you ask questions along the way.
Okay.
So what's your only knowledge of the Knights Templar?
No, that was Da Vinci Code. That's it. I fucking haven't seen it for 10 years.
Da Vinci Code. Did you like the Da Vinci Code?
I did when I watched it.
It's fucking awesome, huh?
Yeah.
I
Was it
love that.
Angels and Demons and what's the other one?
Inferno.
Yeah.
One of them wasn't incredible, but
Yeah.
Da Vinci Code is so good.
Yeah.
Makes you question a few
Well,
things.
I mean, it's all fiction, though. Dan Brown, eh?
Dan Brown, yeah.
Yeah.
That storyline, yeah.
Because I always get them confused with National Treasure. So I'm like,
Yes.
Knight Templar sounds like a national treasure, sort of.
So the Dan Brown book is based on reported ancient history. You know, rumors and
Yeah. Wasn't there a lot of like controversy about it?
Yeah.
Because I was saying,
well, the Christian faith was basically said, or the Catholics said, do not watch this movie.
right,
It's just
because it reveals our truths.
sort of like, but that's what people would say. And this is what we're going to get into in this because it does really challenge some of the ideas
Well, before
of
we do,
Christianity.
speaking of revealing truths, anytime, and I think it was Tucker Carlson that said it, anytime you say something and there's people coming out going, no, that's fake lies, don't listen, then that's most likely going to be true. If you say stuff and no one reacts, then it's because they're not worried about it.
Yeah.
Now, with the Ryan Garcia and Andrew Tate,
Yeah.
all of a sudden Ryan Garcia's come out just talking about all the Hollywood rituals, the rape, the Bohemian Grove.
Yeah.
He was raped as a kid. They made him watch kids get raped.
Yep.
And that was with Tate on either phone call or pod. And now,
one of those rooms, yep.
3 days later, Andrew Tate's arrested from old fucking
He just got
charges.
released. He just got released.
It was 24
But still,
hours.
Yeah.
So it's from 4 girls that took him to court and the court didn't proceed. And then they've fundraised for a civil case against him. So either Andrew Tate is a monster and he has done these things and he was very intelligent by making us believe a narrative that they're out to get him or they are actually out to get him. Because what are the odds that 3 days after that Ryan Garcia interview, he's been arrested and they've tried to charge him and extradite him?
What were your thoughts on that interview? It sounded like Tate sounded like a very responsible, like trying to calm.
Measured.
You know when you get that,
And it was
you
measured.
get that guy like I'm gonna. What was he saying? He was like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And he's like, oh, mate, like,
Maybe you should.
well, you got to realize the people that you're messing with and dealing with here don't fuck around.
And he
like,
said,
he's
like,
they're not going to get me. What are they going to do? I'm protected. I know people, and you
No,
can
he
hear
said
it.
that he goes, I'm God. I have God or something.
Yeah, I've got God on my side. And then he said, do you want me to get people to get you out of your shit in Romania?
Yeah.
And you can just hear in Tate's sort of voice and response, he's like, look, mate, if I can't get myself out, you can't get me
Yeah.
out. Like, but
But the fact that he was like, do you have evidence or do you have proof?
Yeah.
And he wasn't just like, he was very measured.
yeah, and he's like, And
And all
he
the
said he's
stuff
got
on
it on
Twitter, he keeps saying he's got all this proof, but he hasn't released or shown anything.
Yeah.
So, but it's the same pattern as everyone. Cat Williams, they got told he was crazy and he was psycho. And then all these other people were saying now Ryan Garcia is crazy. Yeah. So the two schools of thought are they're trying to discredit him by calling him crazy, or they're trying to protect him by saying you're crazy.
Well, they did
Don't
that
say
with
that.
Alex Jones.
Yeah.
And yeah, he says some fucked up and weird,
Yeah.
like, well, not fucked up things. He truly believes what he's what he's saying. But a lot of Alex Jones' stuff
Has
is
been
true,
true,
but they don't
yeah.
have to. And I think the point that Tate made in that conversation was like, they don't have to discredit Alex Jones anymore. They've painted him as crazy enough that no one believes his shit.
Yeah,
So-
but it's all come true. So,
I know, but because they've painted him in that way, people they ignore it.
yeah.
So-
anyway, it's interesting. It's just an interesting little the timing of it. So, and if you don't know what we're talking about, look up Ryan Garcia TikTok. A lot of it's been taken down, but Ryan Garcia is a boxer.
Yep.
And he's come out basically almost saying what Alex Jones has been saying is real.
Yeah, that they're raping
Kids.
kids and pedophilia in Hollywood and
Yeah, there was one that they started talking about putting kids in celebrities' skin or something. Did you see that clip?
no.
Where they were talking about like something to do with adrenochrome and kids and like killing celebrities and putting them in like clones or some shit.
Oh my
The
god.
whole clone thing is a bit crazy, but I wouldn't.
Yeah,
put
the
it
clone
past it.
stuff I think is an interesting topic. We'll do a whole thing on clones because the clone thing, that's a rabbit hole you want to go down.
Yeah. All right. Knights Templar.
So the Knights Templar, most people are accustomed to them through the Da Vinci Code, but don't know as much about them as you'd think. And I was surprised because I thought I had a brief understanding of the Knights Templar and what they were doing, but wow, fuck, the shit I found in this. So this is going to be a cool little thing. So before we go to the Knights Templar, we have to talk about the Brothers of the East. So the Brothers of the East are an ancient secret society that was established in Istanbul, and they studied like astrology, ancient wisdom. And
If they're secret, why do people know?
yeah, well, when you say secret society, it doesn't necessarily mean secret. It means getting into them. What their information they possess is secret.
Like BlackRock.
Yeah, that's a good point. So while the world around them is at war, religions are clashing and whatnot, they were just not, these Brothers of the East just didn't concern themselves with that sort of stuff. Like they thought politics and stuff is just boring and so it's small-minded compared to what the message that they were trying to protect. So they decided, there was a guy named Hugh de Paynes.
Sounds like someone's fake name.
Yeah.
What's your name? Hugh de Pants.
We're talking like
Hugh de Pants.
we're talking like the Crusades era here. So the name's
Hugh de Paynes.
De Paynes. So he was very interested in. He's heard about this secret society, and
Is he a modern guy or is he from?
no, this is in the Crusades time.
And is
So
it Crusades the
like
1400s or
1100s? I
1100s?
think it was 1100. I should have written
Yeah.
that down. 1100s to early thousands.
Yeah.
And they told the story to the Brothers of the East. They met with him, Hugh de Paynes, and they.
I can't take that cunt's name
No,
serious.
seriously. Well,
Sounds like a Jamaican.
well, you get-
Yeah, man. Hugh de Pants.
Yeah, Hugh de Paynes.
Hugh de Pants, man.
They took. He requested a meeting with these Brothers of the East Society, and they told the story to him of an ancient society, thriving medicines, instant communication, ability to levitate, no matter how big an item is, and that civilization was located in one spot. Sorry, it wasn't located in one spot, the ancient civilization, like people would have you believe was Atlantis, although Atlantis was the single point where society sort of really spread from. It was like their capital city, that it was a global civilization. And then that civilization was destroyed by an ancient flood or cataclysm, which aligns with a lot of ancient stories. And all these technologies and artifacts could still be found around the world today.
And this was 11,000 BC when the floods are meant to have happened.
AD when this information was. So this is
This info, but the floods occurred 11,000 BC.
Yeah, prior, quite.
11,000 years before.
I think it was, yes.
From
So they're
all-
telling these stories of this ancient story, and that aligns with other ancient stories of cataclysms, and also with the Ice Age, a few things. So it's pretty interesting. But basically, the fact that they had all of this medicine that could heal, and that interested him. But that wasn't it.
So did they have knowledge of it, or they actually had it? Or
So,
they had
I'll
knowledge
get to
about
how
it?
they have the knowledge.
Right.
And so these were the Brothers of the East had the knowledge passed down through survivors of the original cataclysm.
Okay.
And it was like knowledge passed on from generation to generation.
Okay.
And that through the artifacts you could prove and learn more as
So
well.
it's like generational informer instead of generational trauma.
But with ancient texts and tablets
Yep.
that we could find. So,
Apple.
but most notably, they said that they could find these artifacts at King Solomon's temple, which is the Temple Mount in Jerusalem.
Okay.
So these 8 knights that had been told the information through Hugh de Paynes,
Hugh de Pants.
Hugh de Paynes, they decided to go to the Temple Mount and they dug.
What's a Temple Mount? Is that like
The Temple Mount is the Temple Mount.
The top of the temple.
Yeah, it's the Temple Mount. I think that's what it's called, the Temple Mount in Jerusalem.
So is temple short for Temple Mount?
I don't know.
Let me
Don't
do a
think so.
quick. Yeah, continue.
I think it's just what the King Solomon's Temple or the Temple Mount. I think it's just called the Temple Mount in Jerusalem.
Mountain.
I think what else do they call it now? Modern names.
Temple Mount, 2 words.
Yeah.
The Temple Mount is the place where past Jewish temples are commonly believed to have stood.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they've gone to this Temple Mount, which is still now standing in Jerusalem. It's a very holy.
Wait till the Americans get there.
Yeah, well, it's a very holy area. And so as they dug and excavated to the bottom of
It'll
this,
be a holy area.
classic. They found lots of things. They found ancient artifacts. They found gold. They found ancient textbooks, and most notably, they found an Ark of a Covenant.
What is this Ark of a Covenant?
Yes, because you have a brief awareness of the Ark of
I just
Covenant?
know it's called Ark of Covenant. From what I know, an Ark is a boat, and a covenant. I thought Ark of Covenant had something to do with Jesus.
No,
But-
so the Ark of the Covenant, and we'll go into this. So the Ark of the Covenant is basically a battery.
A battery.
So there were 10 of
Right.
So in ancient folklore, there was rumors of there being 10 of these Arks of the Covenants around the world.
Right.
Like a storage battery almost
Okay.
to be able to power energy and create points around the earth for free energy.
Yeah.
So interestingly, these arcs, which I think we have replicas of these days, were a specific fit, and they were a certain size that seemed to fit in these sarcophaguses that were found within the pyramids and other ones around the world. But these sarcophaguses,
That's what that's what Alistair Clarkson called Jimmy Webster. A sarcophagus.
fuck.
Yeah. So they found it, but a sarcophagus is
Yeah.
Tutankhamun.
So it's interesting because these sarcophaguses, there's certain sarcophaguses. I can't say the fucking word.
Sarcophagi.
Yeah, sarcophagi.
Oh, sorry. That's a slur.
There's certain sarcophaguses around the world, and they're always a bit too small. And you know the
Like for children,
sort of
like Epstein.
yeah, it would look like child, and the the UFO people go, that's because they were for aliens for smaller bodies and stuff. But apparently these sarcophaguses were not sarcophaguses at all. They were actually just storage areas for these Arks of the Covenant, and they fit perfectly within them, inside them.
Was it shaped
So
like a
as-
person, or they were trying to hide it in a person-shaped sarcophagus, or is it not what I'm thinking?
No, so they say
a-
that these are sarcophaguses, but they're not. They're just a point in which you place these
Like a
arcs.
chest.
Yeah, so the ark is a acacia wood bound. I think it's acacia wood, and it is bound. It's gold. It's a gold chest,
Right.
and then within this gold chest, you place this thing called manna. Now, have you heard of manna, Delby?
No.
In brief, okay, so like in video games like
Geelong
Final
just-
Fantasy and stuff, they say mana is what gives you your life source and stuff. It's just known as an ancient thing. So I actually
Geelong just recruited him,
it's okay.
Sean Manor.
But it's a perfect size for these arcs. Fits that in all of the pyramids around the world. They seem to have these within the center of the pyramid.
It'd be good if we could get visuals up with this.
Yeah, I'll overlay it. So it's the same way Nikola Tesla said there was like free energy within. You could create this arc, that same sort of energy source. It would just spread it and create it. Same way Wi-Fi exists.
Okay.
Okay, so this was a source of energy.
Yeah.
But also these arcs were used to store mana. That mana was also a food source.
What the fuck?
Yep. So I'll go into a bit more of it. This is the information that's been passed on as well through this secret
So
society.
there's this magical, like, dark matter called mana, and it can
No,
be
it's-
energy or food.
No, so and it goes into the ancient tablets that describe how we create mana. But the same way alchemy, alchemy,
Yeah.
the same similar concept. So they saw it's like, so they use this power to power their civilizations,
Right.
but they also they used it. Where was battery power. The information. This information was all found through an emerald tablet.
Fuck, this sounds like bullshit, bro.
Yeah, but all of this stuff that I've told you
has
is
been
all
verified.
it's all found.
Emerald tablets is what Cat Williams was talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
So the emerald tablets they're real, whether or not you take it as gospel, as like this is fact, this is what happened, but this is what the stories they used.
And when they say emerald tablets, it's like it's emerald,
yes,
with stuff inscribed on it.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. So that they're very interesting because again, you can't take it as gospel. But back in the day, they didn't write down fictional stories on tablets; they wrote down history.
Unless there was a Stephen King of the ABC times.
Yeah. So they. The information was found on the tablet with instructions of how to extract mana from bones.
Wow.
So
bone mana.
Bone mana. Yeah.
That's kind of scary. Living bones or dead bones?
Yeah, but like
just dead bones.
Dead bones. Yeah, left over from.
Wow, like a life source.
Yeah, alchemy, I guess.
Okay.
And it was just a word by word instruction of how to create it. They also found ancient texts that dated back prior to the ancient civilization of Atlantis. So even before that described a non-human civilization that enslaved humanity to mine gold.
Right, and that would go in context with the two gods from whatever that planet was.
Nibiru. Yeah, Enki and Enlil.
Yeah.
The Annunaki coming to Earth and using it to mine it for its resources.
Yeah.
And for anyone, maybe we can do a full episode breakdown on what the Anunnaki are and what they're believed to have been. But the ancient Sumerian texts have talked about the Anunnaki before and Nibiru and this dwarf planet that required...
We call it Little Planet.
So
I think we could ask Mission Control on to come with some fire and go conspiracy deep.
Mm-hmm. So just...
you know what's funny is like... modern people will subscribe to a God and a Jesus, which is as this invisible person that impregnated a human and now he's the son of God. But believe that, build churches on it.
Yeah.
But if you tell them this story, bullshit.
100%.
That's bullshit.
So there's more to this. This goes way deeper. So it's interesting because that mana stuff is not just, what's it? No, when it's just for one thing, what's that called?
Multi-purpose.
It's not as in for one.
Uniform. Unique, specific.
Yeah, it's not unique to just this one tablet.
Right.
Like it's found in ancient scrolls, the Sumerian tablets, the same thing, mana.
How do they spell mana?
All slightly different. So, for example, in the Hindu and Buddhist texts, it's known as mani.
Hey.
In Polynesian cultures, they called it mana. And it was a source of power and healing and levitation for Polynesians. So mana or mani or mani it exists in so many different cultures. It's not just specific to these guys.
Many different variations.
So when it's confirmed by
lots, I like that. Like same thing as what happens when you die, and like spirit, psychic mediums, and whatever. Different countries, different languages, all say the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like there's no collusion there.
Yeah, it does make you...
There's some sort of common thread.
It's very interesting. So this is just some of the information that it's passing on, and forgive me for reading. So not every text they found was pre-Atlantean, an ancient civilization. Some of it was from the time of Jesus. So this is where it gets a little bit...
Okay, so Atlantis is prior to Jesus?
Yes, that was
prior. 11,000 years.
Yeah, prior to the cataclysm and like hundreds of thousands of years
before 11,000.
So this is that that idea of an ancient culture that has just been idea has just been wiped from the earth because of an ancient cataclysm.
Okay,
and we've got some surviving knowledge that has been passed down through generations of our previous civilization that inherited the earth.
Okay, it's so funny. I typed in Atlantis time and it gave me the time of Atlantis, Florida. What time period is Atlantis? Because then that way we can give
it's about 13,000 years ago-ish and prior to
9,600 BC. So yeah, about that same time. Yeah. Okay. So they were obsessed with Atlantis back then. So there's information from 10,000 BC, but also information from 10,000 years later.
Plato and a few of these people had been talking about Atlantis and stuff in the past, but these specific scripts and texts and tablets that they had found had also spoke about this, but they didn't just speak about Atlantis and pre-Atlantean culture. They also spoke about some stuff from the time of Jesus, which is only 1,000 years prior.
Do you know why that Atlantis was such a big thing? Is that does Atlantis refer to the whole of the earth lived in this one area,
No.
or is it just because it was this?
No, so Atlantis was like I said before,
a super city,
the capital city.
Yeah.
In which where the civilization really spawned,
Right.
but it was a global civilization,
Yeah.
and that's why we find this ancient artifacts all around the world. And you see it with the pyramids, you see it with like Angkor Wat, the Mayans, those sorts of things. You can see that's still floating around. But interestingly, this information wasn't from that time; it was from the time of Jesus. So some of these confirmed what the church had been saying for many years about Jesus and the teachings of Jesus. But some of these things were very different and contradicted the Bible.
Okay.
So this is where it gets a little bit like blasphemous.
Right.
The church should become had become such a powerful influence around the world.
The Christian church or Catholic church?
Catholic Church, yeah. And that faith, that this information they had found, and they were Catholics as well. These
Brothers of the East?
The Knights Templar.
Yeah. The 8 Knights?
The 8 Knights, yeah. They were Catholics. And so this information that they had discovered and confirmed by following what the Brothers of the East had told them to find had rocked them. But then they realised that information, one, would change the whole Christianity faith, but because the faith was so powerful, it endangered them by having this knowledge. They had to keep it a secret. So they would be... it was interesting because the artifacts that they were finding in the name of the Catholic faith, they were being funded by the Catholic Church.
Right. So it'd be like the sugar company doing a study on sugar.
Yes.
And then you find out, oh, fuck, sugar's actually causing all these diseases.
Yeah, so they have to keep it secret. Ironically, the Catholic Church is actually funding information that could be their downfall, and they're preserving it unintentionally because they're keeping it a secret. So the Knights also didn't only just find texts and gold and treasures and ancient artifacts. They also found the bones of Mary Magdalene, John the Baptist, and Jesus himself.
How do they know? Was it just like
within the
labels?
The tomb, yeah.
Like, Jesus.
But they also found the bones of the children Mary had with both of them.
Oh, Mary been sleeping around. Or maybe they were open relationship.
But this is that whole idea of the fact that Mary was not a virgin
No, but hang on.
Mary Magdalene.
Mary's Jesus' mum.
Yeah, and then
Mary Magdalene was the hooker.
Yes, yeah. Well, exactly. But he was actually, they would claim Jesus' wife.
Yeah, but don't they say that she was a prostitute and he cleaned her feet or some shit, or is that something else?
The church says that to tarnish her name.
Yeah.
And just say she was nothing more than that. Whereas
well, she's got baby by 2 different men, so that sounds a little bit like she's slipping around.
And but also we also have now an offspring of
Jesus.
Jesus.
And who was John the Baptist? What's going on with him?
Was he one of the? I didn't really look into who John the Baptist was.
But Mary has kids with John the Baptist and with Jesus. Right. You reckon when her water broke, the kids just walk on
it? So they knew that they couldn't let the church find these documents because the power of the church had become so great. They would destroy these documents, and they knew history needed to be preserved.
Okay, what a moral dilemma for the 8 Knights. Because if you were truly Catholic and dedicated to your faith, you would just destroy it, wouldn't you?
Well, not when you.
But if you were on the seeking for truth.
So they were understanding of the fact that, and this is the whole goal and the purpose for the Knights Templar. This was at the time of the Crusades. There's a lot of religious wars going on, and just to speak of different teachings of Christianity was like a death sentence. And so they became they weren't called the Knights Templar at the time. They were just some very curious people. They decided to create a secret society. And some of these texts had wisdom that not only went against the teachings of Christianity, but were blasphemous, like reincarnation. We are all connected to Source, God, heaven not being a place but a state of mind.
Wow.
And even divine feminine, which is all, you could not talk about that back in the day. That was all going against it. So within the realms of, there's an understanding that Christianity is teaching 90% some good things, but has been hijacked to enslave and empower and have the church as the powerful. So this knowledge then became known as Christian Gnostics. So that's Gnosticism. So basically the idea of Gnosticism is that a wisdom of an enlightenment can be found within, which I think we sort of already agree with that, as can our connection with God. So you don't need to go through the church. And they believed in a universal consciousness.
So that's called Gnostic.
Yeah, Gnosticism. So I'd say we would be considered Gnostics, Christian Gnostics, because we have a bit of a belief in the teachings of Jesus, but then also this universal consciousness.
Yeah, I don't think you need to go to church to find a higher.
But to suggest that in the Crusades is the death sentence.
Because why would another human have power over other humans to gain access to Source? Like, what makes you better than me?
Exactly, Delby. So they wanted to preserve this evidence, and so that when the time was right, they could reveal this stuff to the world.
I hate to break it to them, 2024 is still not right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The church is too powerful. It still is, to a point. So over about 200 years, they built a society called the Knights Templar, or the Templar Knights. They went from 8 knights to tens of thousands of believers and loyal servants, disguised as Catholics. So they were all still disguised as Catholics, unintentionally, and the Catholics unintentionally funding and preserving the evidence that could bring down the church itself. They became a self-sustaining society. They earned so much money within the thousands of people that were part of it that King Philip of France was actually borrowing money from them.
Right.
So they were actually lending out money over these couple of hundred years.
Fucking French, eh?
So it got to a point where Prince Philip needed more money to fund another war. That a lot of wars back then.
Yeah, it's pretty godly.
Gone off and fighting crusades and whatnot. But he thought this time, instead of, like, I'm the king of France, instead of fucking just borrowing money, I'm just going to take it. I'm just going to, I'm a fucking king. Fuck this shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. So on Friday the 13th, 1307, he arrested 100 Templars and the Grand Master.
Was he part of the Templars, or he just knew about the Templars?
Well, the Templar Knights were a society in which they had the wealth.
But weren't they supposed to be secret?
Yeah.
Or they were disguised as Catholics called the Templar Knights?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. So they were a society that was, their knowledge was secret, but they were openly Knights Templar.
Okay, like Hollywood.
Yeah. So he arrested 100 of these knights, and including the Grand Master.
Suge Knight?
The Grand Master Jacques Dumoulin.
Jacques Dumoulin.
Hugh
de Pan?
And these guys, over about 7 years, were tortured to try and get the information from them. And eventually...
But hang on. Why... This doesn't make sense. He arrested them because he wanted their money.
He took their money and arrested.
What? He wouldn't know about their secret information, so who's torturing them?
Well, there's still rumours go around.
Rats.
Still get it. Yeah, exactly. So he's learned of it. He's trying to torture out of them their secrets to wealth and secret knowledge.
Right.
Knowing that there was something more to what they've been hiding. So the torturing didn't work. They were all too strong to their faith.
And when you didn't know.
Well, you understand though, I guess, if your faith is that we're all part of a connected universal consciousness, that what you're feeling right now means nothing, and then you're just going to go back to source, you'd be like, I'm standing here for a bigger reason.
So we've answered our question earlier on about murdering the people that murder your friends.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We're all part of it. We're going back to it. So what does it matter? It's hard to think like that.
Or what does it matter?
Exactly. So they burned at the stake, but
Medium well done.
they burned at the stake for their heresy. What is heresy?
That's where you speak out against religion. I'm fairly sure.
Okay, yeah.
Heresy.
Heresy.
Is a crime to speak out against religion.
Yeah, like blasphemy, I guess, wouldn't it?
Yeah, heresy. Belief or opinion contrary to the orthodox religious, especially Christian doctrine.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So they were burned at the cross or the stake or whatever you call it. And the Grand Master, as he was burning, he cursed the Pope and the King of France at the time. So the Pope and the King of France were in cahoots. The Pope was actually placed within power by the King of France, they were childhood friends, and basically it was like all corrupt fucking people in power. They try to get people of influence in other positions of power.
Sounds like a bunch of rappers. You got Grandmaster, Big Pope.
Yeah. So the Grandmaster and Pope, the Grandmaster, cursed the King of France and Perp.
Now, when
and
you
the
say
Pope,
curse, like put a curse on?
put a curse on them and said they would die within the year.
Okay, this is where it gets a little bit weird, but yeah.
Does get a little bit weird. So the next week, the Pope was struck by lightning. Died a big fiery blaze, apparently.
Wow.
And that's not false. That's just that's a fact of history, which is interesting. Could be a coincidence, but getting struck by lightning is pretty cool.
Yeah,
not cool, but
it's hot, bus. Yeah. Well, especially if people heard Grandmaster be like, "I curse you."
Yeah.
And then next minute.
And a few months later, the king died of a stroke at 46 years old. 46 years old.
That's fucking old back then.
Yeah, I was about to say that's probably standard back then. So prior to all of this happening, the Knights Templar, they've got ears to the ground. They've got people in all sorts of places, so they know that this arrest and this is all going to happen. So
sounds like the origins of QAnon.
Well,
we know these
know,
arrests are going to happen.
Yeah. So they know that they're going to get arrested. So they've put in plans to protect what they've and preserve their stuff that they've got, their artifacts. So their boats, because remembering this is a fucking huge society. This isn't just like a small number of people now. So what they did was they decided to preserve the ancient history and send all of their boats away with their ancient artifacts and disbanded into smaller groups, leaving behind the name of Knights Templar because it would be a death sentence to be calling themselves. And so they'd put themselves into other secret societies within secret societies. So, for example, in Scotland, they became known as the Freemasons.
Mm-hmm.
In Portugal, they became called the Knights of Christ. In Nova Scotia, you might have heard of Oak Island. No. Oak Island's a reasonably well-known conspiracy or like a treasure hunting. It's an island there where there's believed to be some ancient treasure.
If they haven't found it now, then it's not there.
Yeah, it's been.
Yeah.
Look, I actually randomly like last year watched one of those fun adventure docos where they try to find it on Oak Island, and they go to this awesome spot, and it looks like it's been plundered.
Oh yeah, so someone could have done it and moved it already.
Yeah, I think so, but potentially not. The Templars were the first Vikings. They became the first Vikings. Even pirates.
I think they tarnished their reputation there, didn't they?
Yeah, well, even the Vikings. We'll come back to the Vikings in a moment. Even the pirates.
This is where it gets a bit far-fetched because if you've got such a secret society, the minute it expands to 1,000, 10,000, if you've got this knowledge that will help you succeed in life, there's going to be small parts of that will create fractions that will try and keep the information for themselves.
That's exactly what's happened.
Yeah, okay.
So that's exactly what's happened. So even like the Skull and Crossbones is an old Knights Templar. They'd use it for their Templar navy.
Or to get their mana out.
No, it would be their the Skull and Crossbones, the flag,
like
the
a
pirate
bikie flag.
It was, it was their navy's flag to intimidate the opposition, saying you were about to fuck you up.
Yeah.
So even that, those pirate flags, they're a crossover from that.
The first ever emoji.
Yeah. So now that ancient knowledge has been
Disbanded. Well, not disbanded, dispersed.
yeah.
Did they all have the same knowledge each, or a little bit different on each thing? So they were
The same knowledge. So the same knowledge and same teachings, but because they wanted to protect it so heavily, if you've got the Freemasons, if you've got the pirates, if you've got the Vikings, if one of them gets destroyed, you still got them in other areas, which was their tactic, to just disband and put it into smaller little areas, which makes, like, it's tactically, it's a good idea. So also with this knowledge that they had been passed down, they'd found like old ancient maps, like the Piri-Reis map. You know the Piri-Reis map? You might have heard it when I tell you what it is. That map that was like, it's hundreds of years before we actually discovered Antarctica, but there was a map of Antarctica and the Americas, and it had it on there. And it was like 200 or 300 years before we even went there. So this is ancient knowledge that they had.
Pyramids of Giza.
Yeah. And so it's even said that the Knights Templar discovered America prior to Christopher Columbus. And the way we know this is, Christopher Columbus had connections through pagans, and he also had connections with the Knights Templar families as well. But back in the 1800s, present day almost, well, only a couple hundred years ago, a farmer in the United States discovered an ancient tablet in the which is now known as the Kensington Runestone. Which was translated, and it was left by Vikings in the 1300s. And that's about 100 years before Columbus.
Do they know what it said?
There was a translation. The translation was that it was found by Vikings.
Oh, the country was found by Vikings.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Not by Indians, Native Americans.
Wow. I should have written this down. I sort of like skimmed over it, but there were white descendants of an Indian family or Native American family
who fucked the Vikings.
Wow. So what they said was that they called them brothers, but they were they had come from somewhere else, and they had bred with their so potentially like Vikings, and that's why they have this family. I should have looked into that part as well a bit more, but and so the question is, when does this information and evidence officially get revealed to the world? So Timothy Hogan is the current Grandmaster of the Knights Templar, and he's been saying that the world is nearly ready, and that these ancient artifacts, all stored in vaults around the world, I think they said 7 in the States, ready to go. And they're going to release it in a way that not one governing body, not one country will have complete access to all of the knowledge and information, that it needs to be made available to the world.
UFOs. This is the UFO release. That's timing exactly the same. Levitation, we're going to reveal it. It's going to be soon. Oh. Maybe they're using UFOs to hide this shit.
Wow. I didn't even think about that. But it does bring to question when would be the right time.
And this Grandmaster,
it's Timothy Hogan.
Why isn't he in jail? Why haven't the Americans waterboarded him? Why wouldn't you go, all right, buddy, no worries, we're the greatest superpower in the world.
Yeah.
Tell us what you know.
Tell us what you know.
Yeah.
Because, look, if you were to take the Timothy Hogan, who's just told this, who's the one who's at the moment preaching this story now.
I want to see what he looks like.
He's very...
Does he look mental?
No, he's actually... he's good. I watched a couple of little clips on YouTube, and I was like, oh, this guy doesn't present like a whack job. He's like, oh, you are very knowledgeable. His ancient history knowledge is incredible.
Okay.
He's got like he's got his own TV series on Gaia. And very interesting. But you think about it, it'd be like if you were to just, I don't know, if you were to go and kill Bob Lazar, you're like, you validate almost everything he says, sort of thing.
Yeah, but then you blame it on a whack job.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. But it doesn't matter. You get rid of the Grand Master. Does that mean another Grand Master doesn't come into place? No, of course not. So the Grand Master is just the leader of it. These secret societies have disbanded, like we said, all around the world. As Freemasons. So the Freemasons,
But aren't
everywhere.
they caught up with the Epstein shit and all the Hollywood elites, all the Freemason stuff, or are they separate? Like the Hollywood, the bad ones?
I don't know.
All right, I really, really need a piss.
That's okay.
Give me 1 second. Talk loud.
Oh yeah. Like, so the cons, obviously,
Does the Catholic Church still have power? Like,
well,
they lost power now, and
still-
that's why they're prepared to.
they've clearly still got a level of power. But I think what interests me is, if this information got into the wrong hands and then they did, like, and I was trying to say the water engine, for example, common knowledge that you can run it off water and it's just held back.
Yeah.
So
And free electricity is meant to be a thing from Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
He's like, because if there was free electricity and
like Wi-Fi.
yeah, like we would, society collapses.
Yeah, because
All the rich lose their power.
yeah.
So
Well, and power is leverage. Like we control oil, for
Yeah.
example. Oil is the power. Instead of like, okay, we're trying to move towards a free society of like a clean society. Well, we go to solar power or wind power or whatever. Someone's still got to run them.
yeah,
So it's still
job creation,
you're still holding power
power for power.
Power and leverage.
Yeah, it's just how do we fact check all this shit? Because I mean, it's just as reasonable as the Bible.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
So that story is 100% like, what's the word?
blue tick verified.
You can verify it. Whether or not the story is true, like the history and the knowledge and wisdom that was passed on doesn't necessarily mean it wasn't just some crazy guy from the very start.
Because imagine if it was just like a practical
Just Jacques
joker, like
What's it, Jacques Dupleix? What's his name?
Jules de Payne.
Jules de Payne, yeah.
If he was just like, wait, this is going to be so funny. I'm going to tell cunts that we could levitate stuff and we've got free power and just make up. Like people still had an imagination back then.
It's
They
interesting.
believed in witches and curses and gods and you know,
but
monsters and
the thing that really almost validates it for me is it being almost exactly the same as the Sumerian texts with regards to the ancient civilization that came to Earth to harvest the gold to use it as a resource. Two very separate ideologies and very different timelines having the exact same story.
but my question is, why haven't they come back? We're mining gold much better than we did back then, and there's still some left. You'd think with the technologies to come to Earth, they'd be able to just go shink shink all the gold. We've got it.
So do you know much about the story of Annunaki-ish?
The brothers got sent here to mine gold, but then they got pissed off that they were here and getting sort of like not acknowledged or like left behind or something.
We'll do a more of an in-depth breakdown of it, but broadly speaking, Enki and Enlil were the sons of the king of the Anunnaki that was sent here to mine gold to save their planet Nibiru because their atmosphere was not strong enough to survive, and powdered gold was going to become their new atmosphere. This was what was written in the tablets, the Sumerian texts, and that when they came here, they used the Homo sapiens as a slave race to do the work. They used the Homo sapiens as a slave race to do that work, and then the thing is the Homo sapiens wouldn't follow instructions, so they had to tinker with their DNA to evolve them.
That's right. Yeah.
And in which
They were worried. They got mad at them because they were going to make something that was smarter than them.
No, so what ended up happening was this: once they'd finished mining the gold, got what they needed for their planet, they still remained here. Some of the Anunnaki took, and this is where they talk about it in the Bible, where the Anunnaki will come to Earth and bred with the wives of man.
Maybe that's what God was.
Yes, but so I can't remember which one it is off the top of my head, Enki or Enlil. One of the brothers was like, I'm fucking furious that you guys have done this. And the other one had compassion for humans.
Fuck, that's just matching up with the God and the devil.
Yeah. And one of them said, nah, fuck this. I'm ridding the planet of this experiment that we've created. And the other one said, no, I fucking love these humans. They're like, you have to, I have compassion for them. So I'm going to protect them. So one of them said, nah, fuck this, and created a cataclysm, a flood that destroyed everyone, killed all the animals and the humans on Earth. And then the other one created an ark to save a few and to pass on the knowledge and continue on.
Yeah, well, look, that's just as likely a story someone's made up to explain the events that have happened as it is to be God or the devil or angels or whatever.
It's just weird that that's the same story in two different civilizations on tablets.
Yeah, that's interesting. But maybe they're not two different civilizations. Maybe they're the same civilization with time apart. You know, because the Aboriginal people of Australia had explanations.
Yeah.
The rainbow serpent created the rivers. You know, that's just humans trying to explain why terrible things or why things happen.
Do you like the idea of, firstly, understanding that I'm probably a Gnostic? Finding that out as I'm figuring that out. I'm like, I'm a Christian Gnostic.
You've been diagnostic as a Gnostic.
Because that Gnosticism is incredible. It's like it understands the core teachings of Jesus and treat others as you want to be treated. Those sorts of things.
Do we have to classify ourselves as a religious podcast now?
Yeah, but then also to be open to a universal consciousness and that God is within, and the connection to source and God can be found within. That really, like, it aligns with what I already believed.
I mean, I like the idea, looking at it like objectively. It's a nice idea that we've got this rich vein of history with these stories and these noble people.
Yes.
But it's just as likely that humans have created that to create meaning for their life.
Yeah.
And to explain what's happened and to make themselves feel important and give themselves another form of power to combat the church, to go, hey, actually, guys, you like that God? You think that church is great? What about us? We've got this secret knowledge.
Yeah.
And if you follow us, we can share this secret knowledge with you. So it's just another way of humans to serve their ego, to gain some sort of power and control over other people. So it would be interesting. Is there anywhere you can visit and see these
artifacts?
Yeah.
No.
So,
and this is
it's just like the guy that created Mormonism. He's like, I've got these 4 gold tablets in the back of my house in Utah.
This is where the Freemasons, like, you get to a certain level of Freemasonry and you start to learn the secrets. You get to see the secrets and the evidence and the proof.
But why just them? Like,
well, you couldn't just let it out, can you?
Yeah, definitely. I think you could start a podcast and tell everybody. Like,
well, they still do that. They still spread the word, but until then, it's just like a rumor.
Yeah, which I think is worse. If it was true, like, we would be able to just go.
But do you think?
And if it was like,
if you had if we had it, because the church influences the state. So
I think if it was true, we would be. By now, it would all be sweet, and we would even if it was true, it would be in power right now. And if it was used by those with ill intent, you would have seen the separation.
Do you think,
which maybe exists already secretly? Maybe the elites are in knowledge of this power, and
like you said with the UFO stuff,
yeah.
Well.
Because for me,
think, though, like, for
if
example,
I was one of the Knights Templars and I knew that this stuff was going to change the world, I would get a few people, you know, and then we'd just release it and be like, hey, check this out. This is what we're going to do.
But, okay, let's say that. Me and you are Knights Templar, and we've got the information right now.
Yeah.
And we release it. What do you think happens?
Someone will come get it.
Yeah, and what happens? And it's gone forever in the wrong hands.
But they would have it because they would use it to use power. They would hold power with it. If they're maybe making things levitate or manna, creating food out of nothing, then they would have that, and you would know these guys are our kings because they've got this magical power that we don't have. We are below them. Like in a logical sense.
Nah, I don't think they would. I think they'd use it for bad.
Yeah,
to,
but
to hold power. Yeah.
Yeah, but you'd see that because if I held power over you, I'd be like, "Hey, dude, if you don't
But
fuck
that's
around, I'm going to levitate your ass off the ground and fucking manna the shit out of you."
And that's exactly why they haven't released it.
Yeah, but to me, they could use that if they were like of moral character. They would just go, "All right, come and get us, come on, fuck us up.
Yeah.
We'll just go with our little magical fucking sorcery."
Would you think that's how it works though?
Don't know. But I'm just trying to think of it logically. There is no reason as to why you wouldn't share it.
Because it's not necessarily technology that they already possess, it's knowledge.
Yeah. I mean,
So, for example, Nikola Tesla, the knowledge he possessed has never seen a light of the day.
Yeah. But
And what's it being used for? Yeah, like you said before, it's probably being used for weapons.
yeah. Yeah, but I mean like
And would the people in power who run energy companies and whatnot, would they let that information come out?
if you were a true Catholic or a Christian and you learnt about your true faith, you would be instantly converted to the real faith of it. And you would realize that the church is the bad guys. And instead of following the church, you would instantly have millions of followers with the true.
And then, but
Story.
what would be the result though? Because the people in power,
Yeah.
the people who are in power are the church and the state.
Or it depends what this ancient knowledge can do. If all it does is levitate things and create food from, if that's what it is, then all that's going to happen is they're going to solve world hunger and they're going to be better at building things.
Yeah.
Like, because think about a normal Christian, they love Jesus. They want to tell everyone the good word.
So there's 100% I agree. I don't think there's a negative to it coming out in that regard. I think there's a negative to it coming out and being not like someone trying to bring it out and it being suppressed and then hidden away. And then, I'm fucking happy with my millions of dollars coming in a day.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like if it was real, someone would have seen it or it would be available. There's no reason as to why you couldn't, because you can go look at fucking the Shroud of Turin.
Well, you're not allowed to
go look at Jesus' cloth, man.
But you're not allowed to go underneath the into the archives underneath the Temple Mount now because that's been taken back.
It's because there are children there.
Yeah. Well, it's been taken back by the church. So when they disbanded the Knights Templar, all of that ancient knowledge and wisdom that they possessed, except for the minor artifacts that they had in place, is now underneath the Vatican there.
It depends what it does. I feel that it's like...
So the ancient libraries, to get into the Vatican library...
Can't spell library without lie. I feel like it's all just humans creating a story and... I don't buy it.
Is that what Christianity is?
Yeah, exactly. I don't buy it. I just think that it's a competing, almost a competing religion.
Yeah.
It
sounds like a far nicer one.
Yeah. It's an idealistic.
Yeah.
Like a cult. It's an ideal. That sounds awesome. And like, think of all the cults. If you guys are my people, what happened? Well, there's an alien ship that's going to come in 30 days and it's going to ascend us because it sounds nice and it sounds like it's the better version of humanity.
Yeah.
So
for me, it all aligns. It all affirms everything, and the texts that have been found that are verifiable all align with it.
If only we had blue ticks from the text.
What I would like to see is this knowledge put into action, and then that would be finally. I still believe all the other stuff.
Or just release it anonymously. Show us the ancient knowledge, what it does. Post a clip from fucking a hidden place.
Yeah, but that doesn't work. Like, it gets taken down.
Well, put it up a million times.
Yeah.
So at least it gets seen, like...
Yeah, it's... Yeah.
Dark web. Maybe the ancient knowledge is the dark web and Bitcoin. Like... I think it's a romantic thing. I love the idea of it, but I feel like the reality of it is probably like...
So what do you think the ancient knowledge passed down has been?
I reckon it's just a different version of the Bible, like every other Bible.
Yeah.
Instead of going, righto, like Jesus
Well,
and
the Bible
Mary,
is just a collection of
stories.
Text, yeah, from the prophets at the
Yeah,
time, isn't
I
it?
think it's just a different version of that from an earlier time.
Yeah, from prior.
Yeah.
And so this knowledge of an ancient civilization prior to that.
I definitely think there was an ancient civilization that was far more advanced than we are today.
Yeah.
So, like the pyramids being a power station is one of the best theories that I've seen.
Yeah. Well, the Ark of the Covenant would be the
Everything that leads and the way it's set up is like a big battery.
Yeah.
And the limestone is the perfect amount of limestone to create a charge. And
the friction, yeah.
Like that shit's impressive. That's
sand
incredible.
going through.
The limestone, when it gets compressed, it creates it can carry a charge, creates electricity.
Incredible.
Like all of that is the most, I think, the most feasible explanation because of the how like centimeter perfect everything is. That to me screams. I don't know why we are in denial that there was people that got this smart at some point before.
Yeah.
Like if we got hit by an asteroid, tomorrow.
Yeah, you're not finding anything left.
Nah, we go back to the cavemen, and then eventually natural progression happens, and it happens again.
You are not finding 2 kilometers below the surface. Like the sediment. Yeah, it doesn't just. It's not like if you dig down 50 meters, you might find some dinosaur bones.
Yeah,
no, the shit's gone, man.
Yeah, if I find some DMT at Blazing Swan, I'll consult the entities. I'll see.
I think all of my thoughts on that are similar regardless.
Yeah.
It just affirmed, like it was a story that aligned with what I already believed anyway.
Yeah.
And I like the story. I like the idea of the ancient knowledge being passed through. I can't confirm.
I just need some proof. That's it. That's all you need. All right. So when people go to church, they find their proof because they feel God or Jesus, but maybe that's them connecting to themselves, which is God, you know. So it's not as, church maybe isn't bullshit. I just don't like that a lot of churches are for profit, and the mega churches and the pastors that are just completely fucking loaded. So
yeah, well, that's an interesting story anyway.
Knights Templar.
Knights Templar. So I hope you like that one. That one's it was good to go into depth into something in the whole story.
Yeah. I think if we can get a mission control, one of those guys or both of the guys on, ask them what their specialty is.
I think they just love
bring them on.
I think they just love conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
But
it'd be interesting if we could get a like a religious historian from UWA or somewhere that studies it and talk. Even if it's just about the story of Jesus or just Bible stories.
Yeah.
Because I have no doubt a lot of the Bible stories are
true.
Occurred,
or just
but I've always thought like maybe Jesus was a hell good magician, like turning one fish into 1,000, like sleight of hand, or like walking on water is just like,
Yeah. I always think that's
maybe it was just ice.
Yeah.
Like Jesus walk on water. I didn't write it was frozen.
I always think the magic things that Jesus would do was just like coincidence, like.
Or he was like a mad, like Chris Dynamite, Dynamo or Chris Angel.
I feel like walking on water is like stepping into the pond and everyone think you're walking in the ocean and it's like an inch deep.
Or it could have been a mirage in the desert and it looks like he's walking on water.
Yeah.
Like,
100. That's probably even.
I've just thought of that.
That's probably the better.
They're in the desert. They just see this dude
mirage. He's walking on water, motherfucker. Yeah, he wandered the desert for 40 years. He probably did get spotted walking on water.
For sure. Yeah. No, Moses did 40 years.
Oh, yeah, Moses did,
Jesus went missing from early Bible to when he was 30 or something.
He was said to have gone, there's stories and rumors of him going to Buddhist temples and monks in Nepal, I think.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Maybe we should look into doing a whole episode on Jesus and like the different like versions and the story.
They've been doing years of him every Sunday. If you want to learn about him, there's a place you can go every Saturday and Sunday.
Well, as we just learned, I think that information's been tainted and swayed. But
we'll see.
Good fun. Good episode.
Right. Yeah.
Anything else you want to chat about?
No, just if you got any Sydney friends, send them towards my Instagram for tickets. Penrith sold out, so we'll add another show. Teacher Comedy Night, April 12th. Really excited to shoot the video that we thought of before the pod. And what date is it? So it's my birthday on the March 25th, so maybe on the Sunday I'll pop down for a Sunday sesh or something. I'll suss it out.
Nice. I have not much on. You see Jazz Bing won the Raw?
No.
Jazz Bing won the Raw. She was in both of my heats, actually. She's pretty good.
Okay. Let's see now.
She's pretty raw to it, like, pardon the pun. I think she's only like 3 months in.
Yeah,
so
right.
she's fucking good, man. Like, she's
I did ECC last night at Lenox.
Oh, what's it like there?
Good
room?
When it's full, it's going to be fun. That's where I first watched Benny Darso and Mike G.
Sick.
That's the old Rose O'Grady's. Down the side bit where they used to do comedy.
I think I know what you're talking about.
You know where Johnny Fox is? It's called Johnny Fox's now, but
Okay.
you know where the Pleasure Garden is for Fringe?
Yep.
You know the Irish pub directly opposite it on the corner?
Yeah.
And we used to have to get taxis from there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there.
Ah, sick. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not far from the old convenience then.
No, it's
Yeah.
up the road.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So,
cool.
yeah, last night there was about 20 punters in, so and it was only the second time, so I just tried some new thoughts for Teacher Comedy Night to see if it worked, and it was just whatever.
Yeah, cool.
But, yeah.
Sick.
There was a lad that got up for his first time, Michael Oates.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
It's fucking funny, man.
Yeah, there was a
did
post
good.
on him. Yeah, he did good.
Yeah, he did very well. He opened with, because I did my set, then he was on after, and he goes, I don't want to touch this mic because I'll be up for 3 days if Delby's touched it. I was like, I wish I had stuff that good, man.
That's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah. So,
That's
yeah,
good.
he's got good potential. So,
Yeah, sick.
If he's a listener, keep going.
Yeah, nice.
Old fella, like mid-40s.
Yeah, I seen the post. Bloody good stuff. But
Very calm and measured. It was nice. Like he didn't take the mic stand out. He stood and like he was delivered, and it didn't sound like it was rehearsed word for word.
Yeah.
And then even when he finished a bit early, he goes, "Oh, I've gone through this a bit quicker." Then you could see him deciding, do I talk shit or not? And then he just said one more joke, and he goes, "We'll leave it there." So I wrote, "That was really like good. Well done on doing that. Don't just dribble."
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out.
What does Johnny say? Do a bloody good 4.
Yeah. Don't just fucking dribble for 5.
Yeah.
But what we are going to do at some point this year is do a first timers night. So we're going to get our sponsor, John Elliott's going to do his first 5.
Oh, I love that.
And I think Ian said he'll do his first 5.
Sick.
And then maybe we'll just do new 5s.
Yeah.
So we'll do.
I wrote 2 new jokes on the plane.
Yeah.
As well. They need a bit of work, but yeah.
All right.
I'll
make them better for you.
Please. I'm fucking pumped actually. I'm getting MC jobs as well, man.
Killer.
I will be frankly honest. The last 2 months have fucking tested me.
Yeah.
I've been shitting it. People have been asking me if I'm okay, and it must be coming across that way. I must feel like I must be presenting myself as nervous, and it's pretty scary, but finally starting to see the returns.
Yeah, nice.
Sort of, but it's fuck, man. It's been
Services Australia, baby.
it's been a very trying couple of months.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah.
But faith.
Oh,
If you
Knights Templar.
Yeah, if you it's not if you're scared, you don't have full faith.
Yeah.
You need to show if you have full faith, you fully believe. There's no fear.
Yeah.
It's just happening.
So
It is said it and is done. So
what Branch is trying to say is join the Patreon. We need a
Please.
little help. Just $5 a month can help Branchy feed his daughter. So we will be chucking all the episodes up without
ad-free.
ads.
Yep.
And there's always bonus stuff going on there as well. So we'll explain it in preamble.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
But all right, sick.
Thanks, boys and girls, and theys and thems.
Cheers.
Cocksuckers.
Hooroo.